and welcome to Not Just Coffee with Reese. We are on episode 6. Can you believe it? And you're probably wondering who is in the frame with me today. Is extremely exciting. I have my very first guest. I probably threatened him, but he is here. Ben Cardenas is with me.
Hey there.
So Ben and I, we've been friends for a very long time, so he kind of probably felt a little, did I guilt trip you maybe into this?
Well, more obliged. Well, yes, it was an obligation.
Oh,
yes.
an obligation.
Obliged. I'm much obliged to do it, yes.
So I'm very, very excited and happy that he's here. Kind of to give you a little bit background about Ben and why I invited him. I would consider you an entrepreneur. Would you consider yourself that?
I'm getting more familiar, I'm getting better about accepting that as a title, for sure.
Does it feel weird then?
It does. It does. It wasn't the first, just starting a business, I guess you don't think entrepreneur. I think different people are entrepreneurs. Like
Not you.
Mine wasn't necessarily like to go out and make a whole bunch of money, but yeah, I mean, yes, in the actual definition of the word, yes. I'm like I said, I'm getting more comfortable accepting that term.
So we will say here, just to give you a little tidbit about Ben. So Ben has started a business. He's an entrepreneur, a chef. He started Tidy Ben Sloppy Joe's. Is that right?
That's the one. Yeah.
And then he also started Primero Tacos.
Primero Tacos. Yeah.
So he started those two companies. He's an entrepreneur, a chef, and the interesting thing about both of those delicious foods, because I've tried them, they're amazing, is it's all vegan, and he is vegan as well.
Yeah, almost 9 years vegan.
9 years vegan. I couldn't do that. That's crazy.
That's what I said a long time ago.
And now 9 years later, you're here. So Ben is our guest today, and we're going to dive into this, starting out with, of course, what we're drinking today. So Ben, you want to tell us? It was Ben's choice. So
so I have a thing with blood pressure in the family. Right off the bat, I mean, my mom.
He's getting personal with y'all already.
Yeah, I don't know if that's too bad. People suffer from stuff. Well, on my mom's side, there's a blood pressure thing, so I can't do too much caffeine. Today we're drinking hibiscus mixed with some Malawian black tea.
What's Malawian?
It's an African tea, black tea, from Africa. There's minimal caffeine and hibiscus. And this is whenever I do want to get stuff done, because normally it's just regular hibiscus tea, and there's something with hibiscus tea where tart teas, like including lemongrass and even just like lemon itself maybe, but other tart teas, they're good with blood pressure. Where they've been studied since back 2009, 2010, and both the diastolic and what's the other one? Both of the blood pressure numbers are affected by it, and so.
I know nothing about that, but.
And this is your first time tasting it too.
It is.
You
so
didn't even get any
cheers.
Taste test. Yeah.
Cheers to the first guest and to my first time tasting this. So let's see.
Yeah, you lose a little bit of the tart, it seems, but
yeah, it's very
you taste more of the
smooth.
or
something. Yeah, not as tart.
You're balancing out, I guess, the black tea, which can be a little bit bitter, and we brewed it for a good while, and that's what I usually do with my hibiscus tea. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a good one, and I get no, I don't necessarily start my days with it, but I drink it most days, almost every day, if not
so
every day.
Are you not a coffee person?
I can't be. I really can't be.
Really?
I think the last time I did something pretty caffeinated, I can feel my heartbeat in my ears. And,
oh wow!
And I was I have to calm myself, and there was a breathing technique that I had to do.
Wow.
Because it really does affect my blood pressure. So.
Wow.
And it was with one of my favorite things. It was a mix of chai tea with some cold brew.
Oh, it's like a dirty chai.
Kind of, but dirty chai is espresso with chai tea.
Oh, okay.
This is a cold brew, which has its own special thing.
Its own animal.
Yeah.
So just so y'all know, and so I was really shocked that you don't drink coffee. Ben gets up extremely early in the morning. I'll let him kind of dive into a little bit about his business, what he does, but he makes these amazing breakfast tacos when it comes to Primero Tacos. And we will go to the coffee shop and get our coffee at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30. We'll pick up some tacos with us. And we don't think about how early in the morning someone like Ben has to wake up to provide us those tacos. So when do you wake up normally?
Normally around like 3:30 or 3:40 in the morning. Today was extra early because I had to make a lot more tacos than normal.
How many did you make this morning?
I made 90 tacos.
Is it just you?
By myself.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a process and I have it down. It just takes its time.
When did you first even decide I wanted to start a business?
When I wasn't working.
Okay.
I mean, I was bartending, as you know, but I was a bartender, and then the pandemic happened, and then.
And Ben makes amazing drinks. He was an amazing bartender, so I think everyone missed you, probably.
I've gotten some
doing those
stuff.
drinks.
I've gotten some people mention that, so.
But your tacos are way better.
You know,
they're amazing.
I think I learned my. We might get into that. I think I learned my flavor profiles with bartending, so it helped out a lot. But yeah, I wasn't working for like half a year.
Because of
The
COVID
stuff.
then?
Well, maybe not a full half year, but my brothers and I had been talking about starting a business already for a few months, and for some reason we thought that it's like a great time when people weren't going
Great time,
out.
let's open a business. No one's going anywhere.
No one can go anywhere. The pros added up, but there was a huge con that we didn't take into. Maybe we didn't weigh it as heavily as it should have been. But yeah, no. I mean, my brothers wanted to start a business. I was down. I wasn't doing anything. My younger brother had just finished his master's in business like half a year before, maybe a little bit longer. But either way. And yeah, I just kind of put all the ducks in a row. I had a little bit of money saved up from a vacation that I was supposed to take that I never took.
COVID just shut that down.
Yeah, COVID shut it down, and I was like, well, I can use this money to like have a little bit of backup and just kind of like start up as well, and have a little bit of investment money as well. So yeah, it was, like I said, we thought it was a great time.
Mm-hmm. You've been doing this since 2019 officially, or is that when the idea came in?
No, that's when
like you were going to start this.
That's when the official thing came in. My brothers and I had and my family, I guess, had like a last tasting of like seeing if this is what we want to do, and it was just more like, yeah, we can make this into something. And that was around, I think it was like May-ish of 2019, and then like June or July was when we actually like got the LLC and.
Ooh, how'd that feel? Did that feel like, oh my gosh, this is official?
Kind of. We divided our roles, and my younger brother ended up doing a lot of the paperwork. So it wasn't like me, like, those. So I think I lost some of that experience as like, this is so exciting, just because we had other people delegated to do this part, and I was doing this part, and my older brother was doing this part.
Okay.
He was doing my older brother was doing the social media, so he was like putting all that stuff together.
It's very business-like, though. You say like it's hard for you to say entrepreneurship that you're an entrepreneur, but I mean, talking about your business and everyone having their different parts, and
I guess
you
so.
sound very businessman-like.
Does it sound business?
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. I'm like, oh, okay, LLC.
I did use the word delegated, and
you're using those business terms.
I guess that's the classic imposter syndrome then.
Probably. I think we all suffer that. Oh, he's on my shirt. Elvis suffered imposter syndrome. But just random thing. Official. Like, do you remember the first place that you started doing your food at?
Oh, or what was that? I probably should remember that a little bit more in detail, because we did pop-ups, and there were like 2 or 3 in the first week. It was like a First Friday. There was before I guess the concept was even before the concept was
coming back.
It is. Before the concept was like an actual term, because it became very popular in the pandemic. Ghost kitchen. We rented out a kitchen. I was in the bar world. I got some connections with some people in the service industry. That means like food as well. And I asked this guy if he knows anyone that has like kitchens. It's like, hey, hit up this guy. And we ended up renting out a kitchen, and then we did pick up and deliver, or just pick up from there. So people were picking up food from.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and we were. I didn't think it was a novel idea. I'm sure it had been done before, but shortly thereafter, we were watching the news and like listening to stuff, and people were saying like, new kind of restaurant stuff has been like
ghost kitchen.
Yeah, and they put a term to it, and I was like, have we been doing that? Oh wow.
No, it's like the whole like thing a while ago, like hipsters. You know, do you remember those memes? It was like they wore a scarf before it was like cold and stuff like that. So it's like you were doing the ghost kitchen before it was even like
I guess so. Yeah, I really wasn't trying to be that guy. You know, we just kind of set the trail.
Named the term after us.
Just burn the trail. Was it blaze the trail?
Blaze the trail.
Burn the trail. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Very Texan. You know, blazing the trail.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, we are there.
Yeah, that's cool. And then it kind of evolved because Ben's talking about doing your sloppy joes, right? With the little Hawaiian buns.
Yeah, we did sloppy joes first and did that for 2 years until it was just too many little things. But yeah, there was I would attribute to my older brother a little bit of a meteoric rise, I'd say, just because he had like connects with people that did like interviews, and then I had a couple friends that interviewed me. One of them works for the Express News.
Ooh, getting fancy here now, going up that ladder.
I mean, he had heard about it, and he was a regular at the bar too. So
oh, nice.
He was just, he was excited about the idea, and he had it, and he wrote like a really good review. I was like, oh, that's nice. But yeah, it was just like the interview after kind of interview-ish, kind of review after almost review, and we're in the currents a little bit. Things to watch out for in some places. I don't know.
Nice.
So it was good. And then like in the vegan world, like there still isn't a whole lot of vegan stuff here in San Antonio. So.
I mean, it's Texas though too. So.
Well, if we go to Austin.
Yeah. Oh, no, you know what? My sister actually, just yesterday, she went to Kirby Lane here in San Antonio, and they had vegan queso.
Kirby Lane. I don't even know where that's at.
I don't know either. You'd have to ask her. But yeah, she had vegan queso from there. Yeah, so things are starting to trickle, I feel. Yeah. More vegans are coming in and taking over.
Maybe. I would have mixed issues with that. But yeah, just because it's like, I know you're not Texan, but also more vegans.
Yeah, more vegans. And I am definitely not a vegan. I love my steak, but I feel like person who's a non-vegan saying that your food is really good and like it tastes amazing, I feel like that's a great compliment. But I don't know. Like, do you find it more of a compliment if someone is a vegan, they're like, oh my gosh, I love this, or someone who's like not a vegan, they're like, oh, I'd never try that, and then they're like, oh wow, this is good.
It depends. The weight of it seems. I mean, I do believe you, and I do believe people that say that are not vegan, but my thing is like, if I know you well, it's like, how much are you being nice? It's like, versus like someone that I don't know, it's like, okay, cool. Like, and again, I believe you, but it's like, you can like something, but then like, how much more are you pillow topping?
Yeah.
Which you don't have to be, and it could all be like really genuine. But yeah, no, it feels good. It feels good. Just like the same way that if I made like a really good drink, there's a little bit of pride behind it. There's a little bit of like, oh well, I kind of knew, I kind of figured it was gonna be good. Like, I have pretty good taste buds, but and then just like good, like more people. I'm not trying to turn non-vegans vegan,
No.
but I am trying to really offer a product that more vegans really can um, just basically more options.
Yeah.
And then like if non-vegans end up really liking it, that's even just a plus,
Yeah,
a
it's
really big plus.
expanding their palate.
Yeah, and just I've had a lot of people say like, I don't even miss the meat, I don't miss the blah, this tastes just like blah, and like good.
Yeah.
Good. Yes, that's basically I'm not trying to compromise on anything flavor wise, texture wise. So I'm glad it's all coming through. That's a big thing.
No, that's great. And then you slowly transitioned into breakfast tacos
I
from
did.
your Sloppy Joes.
I did. Yeah. That
Okay,
was,
so were you ever like making them at the same time, or do you still do both of them? How does that all work?
uh, there was a couple of things. I guess there was a point where I did want to make more money, so I was like, you know what else I want to do, and I had like a little touch of it because during the pandemic we did get a big snow. We got a snow in a couple years ago, right?
Oh, the huge snowstorm?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So we couldn't get any product, but I did have like some beans and stuff around. I was able to get some because the supply chain just broke down, so I wasn't able to get like bread, certain ingredients.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. But I had some other stuff, and I wanted to do something nice, so I made a bunch of bean and cheese tacos, and was like, hey, anybody that like really needs food, because people were without like electricity for days. I was like, I just made food for people, and anybody that wants to come and pick it up, like I'm not charging anybody anything.
Yeah,
So
I remember that. I think you posted it like on Instagram and stuff too, right? Like,
Yeah,
hey, come pick
yeah.
up free tacos if you need food.
Yeah, and at first I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to be here. And then there were a few people like, can I get like 12 of them? It was like, because I need to like hand them out. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'd love to. And then like, yeah, put them together. And at the end of the day, it turned out to be like a really successful, I think, day. And like, I got some good responses about like, there's some good tacos.
That's awesome.
So like, not a full year later, I had started making breakfast tacos because the same guy I was working out of the kitchen, he owns a coffee place, and I brought up the idea. I was like, hey, what do you think about breakfast tacos? Like, yeah, we can just have some at the shop. So yeah, and then I was working both for a while, which probably wasn't the best idea.
Because that's tiring. What, breakfast tacos in the morning, and then your sloppies, you were doing like...
I was doing pop-ups sometimes like till like midnight at like a couple bars.
Yeah, because you were
throughout the
doing
week.
bar time. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it was just not great for me, like my physical.
Yeah,
at the
'cause,
very
like,
least,
how much sleep
physical.
were you getting?
Not a lot. Like in
Yeah.
between, not a lot. So it would just have to be like after the tacos.
But you're being a full entrepreneur. I think Elon Musk gets like hardly like any sleep too. So you're doing like an Elon Musk thing, you can kind of say that.
Well, it would be a little bit more closer related if I was making anywhere
Making some multi-millions.
anywhere near that kind of money. Again, maybe the imposter syndrome kind of like, especially when you're comparing the two.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You were in the pathway to becoming
I was
that.
in the realm, I guess.
Yeah,
to a
you were
degree.
there.
I was working hard for.
Both entrepreneurs working hard.
Yeah, we'll say something like that. Yeah. But there was a full transition after I was having like some hiccups with my van. I was using van for the pop-ups, transporting supplies and product and stuff to the different bars, and just like I had different pop-ups as well as like First Friday and other kind of vegan events. So I had like van issues for like a whole half year.
Oh wow.
Just like me putting money in constantly almost. And then it was like, man, I'm really not even seeing anything. It's all that's going to fixing the van. And then the van actually kind of like died on me at one point in time.
Dunzo.
On the highway. And I was like, oh, well.
On the highway?
Well, on the access road coming off a highway.
Ah.
And I was like, well, I know this is going to be like a couple $1,000, and I don't want to do that right now. So I'm going to take a break at least from the Sloppy Joes. And I don't live far away from the kitchen. that I work at, and the coffee shop isn't far away. So there were other little things that I was able to do. Use a family car, a smaller car, to get to and fro the kitchen and deliver the tacos in the morning, and then just ended up being a full transition. And then other places started picking up the tacos, and I was getting messages on Instagram.
Okay.
So
it's like social media. Do you feel like it's helped you a lot with your business and like selling your tacos and getting the word out, or?
yeah, it's helped out a good amount. I I feel like I still could do a lot more, and only recently doing a little bit more.
Yeah.
As far as like making reels and stuff, because that's what Instagram loves. But I mean,
everyone loves reels right now.
yeah, and I scroll through them. It's hard. It's to make them every day is also a different animal.
It is a different animal.
But
it's tough.
Yeah. So I just do like the lazy ones, like before, after.
Before and after.
It's just really like those words, and this is like a 5-second reel.
Okay.
But at the time, like people were reaching out to me, and I was just doing a lot of photos. But right now I could probably do like a TikTok. I can make a TikTok account and probably do a lot more and be more active on.
Yeah, TikTok and
Facebook.
Instagram.
Yeah,
those
are the two big ones. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like back in the day, you'd have to probably buy like advertising and stuff, and now you're your own advertiser in a way.
Yeah, and just reaching out to a good amount of people. And when I started making reels, after about like the fourth-ish one, I mean, this is huge for me. I got almost 1,000 likes.
What?
Which, it wasn't even like a crazy thing. It was just like maybe I posted at the right time with the right.
It was that algorithm.
With the right music, I guess. And then it was like, it wasn't a fantastical reel by any means. It was just kind of regular.
It's crazy,
seeming.
Right?
Yeah, and I was like, why am I getting so many notifications? And then I looked at the numbers, like, wow, okay.
You hit the algorithm.
Yeah, I got the lucky.
Which I haven't figured out. I don't understand their algorithm. I don't know how they just randomly pick.
I don't know. Yeah, don't ask. I mean, I think there's somebody that posts about the algorithm out there, but you have to read it beforehand to I don't know. I never.
Yeah, because it's certain timings for certain days.
Yeah.
I've also heard it's the music, certain music's trending, so you have to stay on top of that and use it as your background. I heard sometimes they'll knock you if you have TikTok, in case you get your TikTok. If you get TikTok and you transfer it to Instagram, but you keep the TikTok little label on it, the logo, they sometimes will not share it as much. So there's an app that you can use, and it takes off the TikTok label, so that way you can then put it onto Instagram. It's all this crazy stuff.
Well, they are in direct competition. That's why they started doing the reels, because TikTok became a thing.
It's crazy world. But so, do you like what you do? Is it something that you feel wow, every morning you're I know we all have our bad days. But do you wake up and say, I'm really liking that I stepped away and started doing this?
Yeah, and the grand thought of it all, because I cannot, and I don't think I ever have been able to really wake up feeling great. I was always the last. I have two brothers, and growing up, I was always the last one, on purpose, to get ready, because I just wanted to sleep the most. And that's, been with me my whole life. So I can't say it's I'm the happiest whenever I wake up, but in the grand scheme of the day,
you're a morning person.
I don't know, I'm not, and my life consists of me waking up in the morning.
Is 3:30 in the morning actually a morning person? That feel that's middle of the night.
Right? Yeah, that's not even. That's the torture hour or something.
Oh,
torture yourself hour. But in the middle of the day, or in the middle of making product, I can easily feel better about myself and what I'm doing. It's I'm making a good product that is universally liked, but also my biggest thing is because one of the big things about the breakfast tacos for me is that I grew up eating in a small town. And there was a taqueria just right next to the school. And we would pick up tacos, almost, if not every day, almost every single day.
Okay.
Going to school. So that's always been a thing for me and a love, and like even and when I wasn't vegan, tacos here in San Antonio, like tacos are a big thing.
Yeah.
But when I became vegan, there were a lot of tacos that I had, and no options that were that early, that just weren't satisfying, and they didn't hit like that classic bean and cheese taco or the potato, egg and cheese kind of thing, or the tortilla. It didn't satisfy that classic flavor.
Yeah, because one thing that y'all don't know watching this, but Ben really puts thought into everything. His tortillas are homemade too. So they're vegan and they're homemade.
Made fresh every day.
Yes. His salsa, homemade salsa. It is amazing. It is so good. So it's not like that like pasty salsa. It's not anything. It's like, oh, it's so good and spicy, and you have like chunks of like little onions in it too.
Yeah, that's the chunky part.
It's his mom's recipe or your grandma's recipe?
No, it's my mom's recipe.
Mom's recipe.
Varied a little bit from my grandma's recipe, but that's my mom's recipe.
This has been passed down.
A little bit, yeah, and I get some good reviews of that as well, yeah.
Yeah, so everything has thought from the vegan cheese, and it's not eggs, it's vegan eggs, right?
Yeah, I do a tofu scramble. Yeah.
Nice. So what are all the tacos that you offer?
Daily I have a bean and cheese taco, a potato, egg and cheese taco, and a potato, chorizo, and egg. I've recently had some pop-ups of some vegan barbacoa. I have some really good feedback as well. Like, I put a lot of time into those. I smoke it for
those were amazing.
You have had those?
I did not have one.
Oh.
I did not have one.
You gave them to your...
I gave them out to actual vegans because it's very rare that a vegan gets to get barbacoa tacos.
Yeah.
So when I said I have these, and I have a few friends and my sister who's vegetarian/vegan, so they can't eat that. So I was like, you know what? I was helping Ben with his pop-up.
That's true. Yes, you've been very helpful. Thank you.
I took a few of them. He didn't have many left, and so I took the rest though. And I was so excited to try one because everyone kept coming back and saying they were so good.
That's true. They did.
They came back to your booth.
I need to hold those things.
Yeah.
A little longer in my heart.
They kept on coming back to his booth and saying, "Oh my gosh, those were so good." And they were like, "They were spicy. It had a kick to it, but that was so good." And all of them, majority of them, probably like 80% of them were meat eaters. And they were like, "Oh," when I would tell them the special, they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Okay, give me one." Like, kind of like they just wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
And so many people kept coming back just to let him know how good that was.
That's
so
true. Yeah, that's
when I came, they got taken up by the vegetarians and vegans.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to try one, but everyone said they were amazing.
Yes, so. And I good feedback. A lot of time in those as well.
Because you smoked those for how long?
Yeah, at least a couple of hours, depending on like the time I had. I think the most I smoked them were like 3-4 hours.
So while you're sleeping?
No.
Or how do you do that?
This is the day before.
Okay.
I start whenever the sun starts, whenever it's not so hot.
You sound like a vampire there. Whenever the sun starts going down.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and I have a smoker at the kitchen.
Nice.
Get that going about 7:30. I should probably get started earlier because then I don't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah, because 7:30, smoke it for like 3 hours or so. That's putting you at like 10:30.
Yeah, and then sometimes it takes a while to get it started, depending on like the wind and stuff. Like I'm not a master smoker by any means, but I can get the smoke flavor out of it. So
how did you come up with that concept? Was it something that you already heard about? Like, oh, this is how, like in a vegan blog or something?
No.
Or did you just create this recipe?
Almost create. I look. Of course, you look at recipes online, just kind of like get. I had never made the sauce before that you cook it in, so I had to like look up some stuff and like just get a good grasp of like what needs to be put in there. So, but just going off of tradition, like and that's how I make the other flavors of tacos, like just going off of tradition of like and what to expect, but except make it vegan. So the thing with actual barbacoa is like it comes from the face of a cow.
That sounds so gross.
It's very gross. But what they do is they cook it underground.
The cow's head,
Yeah.
they cook underground?
Yeah, they make about like a 3-4 foot deep big hole. They toss wood, coal, or whatever in there, or they put it on top. Either way, and then they cover it up and they cook it like overnight. The thing is,
I think I need to. What's that line that you said that one time?
11.
I need to stop doing that with you talking about putting a cow's head in the ground.
If you've had it, I mean, I've had it as a kid, but like when you really, really think about it, it's like, oh yeah, this is the face.
That's nasty. Ugh, yeah.
But their thing is like they do it like for 8 hours. And I was looking online that for mushroom, because I use mushroom and jackfruit combination. For mushroom
Okay.
and jackfruit, of course, you really don't need to cook it for that long, but you can only absorb so much, smoke.
Flavor. Oh, smoke. Okay.
Smoke flavor, yeah. So, you can be done online. It just says you really just need like 2 hours. But
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll do it for longer.
Just the extra touch. Going the extra mile.
What if it's not just 2 hours?
That chef in you coming out.
Just I wanted to make it really authentic, and then like after I'm done with that, the next morning, like I said, I make my own like adobo sauce. That's not as spicy as that first time,
Okay.
but and then that's one of the first things I do. So then while I'm making like tacos for the coffee shops, I'll let it cook in there for 4 hours. And it's just soaking up all the flavor.
I'm getting hungry right now as you're talking about all this.
Yeah, I didn't bring any food today. I normally bring food, don't I? Sorry.
Man, it's okay. We'll just have to drink some more.
Oh, gosh.
But gosh, that sounds so good. So, kind of the last thing when it comes to like, your business and stuff, is there anything that if you could like go back into time, and tell your past self what you know now,
Oh, yeah.
or if people were wanting to, they always had a passion that they wanted to start or do. Is there like one thing that sticks out to you that you would always tell people, or two things? Like, what are the things that you wish that maybe you knew or someone would have told you?
Yeah, I was, so I'm not a capitalist by nature, but I have learned some stuff. My thing with vegan options, I mentioned already, there's not a lot in town.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be like that super expensive product either.
Ooh, yeah, Whole Foods does some expensive products for vegans.
Well, oh yeah, but
I love their vegan scones. Sorry, totally off subject. Their
No, I mean, but
blueberry vegan scones amazing.
well, food itself can be expensive, and then when you go like
Especially
vegan
now.
stuff, and we were buying a lot of product. I think there are a couple things I would tell myself, like one, spend a little bit more time on seeing what you can make versus buy.
Okay.
Because that stuff really makes a huge difference. If you're gonna buy like $1 worth of product versus $3 worth of product, add that up for a whole year, and that's a lot of money.
That's true.
For like a pound, I guess is what I'm saying. So if you can figure out how to make it, and then make it efficiently. The buns themselves, like we were doing vegan Hawaiian buns that were bought, and those were very expensive.
Where do you find those?
HEB.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Oro wheat. They don't have any. They're not cooked with any eggs or any
That's good to know.
animal product or dairy product or anything.
Okay.
But you can make those as well. It'll take a little bit longer.
So if you can look back and see kind of how to cut costs. So what you can make, it may take longer, or it may not be as convenient. It may take longer,
Right.
but it'll cut costs.
It will cut costs.
Okay.
And I don't use the term cut costs, but then also that makes it seem like almost cutting corners. I think it would be more prudent to have like the most fresh products
yeah.
too. Like you can say like these are homemade.
Selling points. They're more
yeah.
selling points for you.
Yeah, and like this is a hindsight, so you can use the term cut costs, but like just spend more time on making
customizing it in a way, making it very, like you said, homemade and
I think
chef bin.
I think when you really think about some of the higher end stuff, they are things that they make in-house.
That's true.
In-house sauces. This sourdough is made in-house. This blah blah.
Their
blah.
desserts, when you go to restaurants and you're like, oh, which ones are, like, I always ask, like, oh, which ones are like your, like, ones that you make here that are homemade, because you want to taste those instead.
Yeah, and there's just something a little bit different and a little bit probably better quality-wise. I don't want to speak in general, but in my experience, it's like, this is like miles more, and there's something about freshness, like I said. So
for sure,
that's something I would say, and then like charging, just like make sure you get your money back, because mine because it was so expensive, it was like I don't even know if this is the right thing, but I would tell myself like charge at least 3 times, because you need to. If you just did it once, and then you made that money, then that money is all yours. But since you're going to do it again, you have to buy back.
Oh, so you have to also buy the supplies for the next time and pay yourself and gas.
And then all the extra little things, and then you have your profit.
Okay.
So, separate it. So I might even say like 3.5 times what you like pay for like whatever.
Did you start out doing that? No. Okay. So you learned over the
Yeah, it became more of a quantity product. So I would have to like sell more to actually, because my profit margin ended up being like smaller than one would desire, and then like if a true business person like saw those numbers, they'd be like, no, we can't charge that, charge at least this kind of thing.
That's crazy. But then I feel like, to what you're saying, it kind of goes into my mind where a lot of people are out there and they say support small businesses, but it's more expensive. But it's like, well, yeah, because what you just mentioned, people don't think of, or you don't have in your mind all those costs. And then it starts to make sense. It's like, no, they can't go down in their price because they have to do all this.
No one's trying to gouge anybody.
Yeah.
And then you're also talking about a quality versus generic. If you got, what is it, Baird's bread versus a fresh made loaf of the night before, which the last pop-up I had, there was an artisan baker, and she had like some sourdough and some baguettes and stuff. By the time I like saw her at the end of the event, and I was like, which things here are like vegan? And she's like, all of it. It's just yeast, flour, and water. It's like the most traditional way you can make it.
Yeah.
But it's just like messing with the proportions and the hydration levels of like whatever you're making. And it was some of the I got the baguette, and it was like the taste.
You got the baguette.
Yeah, and it was the tastiest baguette I think I've ever had, and it was like, wow, this is amazing.
It tastes good. Homemade stuff tastes good. Like your tortillas, I think, wow, they make it. They're thick, and they just have a different taste, a different feel, different consistency. Like,
yeah,
it's like it's homemade.
The H-E-B ones, like those can be like vegan sometimes, or certain ones. Or even like not even the vegan ones, but they're just they have a certain about them. But I think these really hold on to the traditional flavor of that. It really holds. And I've had some other vegan tortillas in town, and you can taste that they're not. I mean, not to really talk smack.
Oh, he's talking smack.
But like I mentioned earlier, I just haven't been satisfied, and I think one of the things is the tortilla. It just hasn't lived up to what I grew up with. It's just traditional tortilla tasting enough.
Traditional.
Chef kiss.
Yes, traditional. Awesome. Well, we are going to do a round, and this is the first time I've done it, so Ben is going to be our guinea pig.
Oh yeah, I guess you haven't had a guest before. So.
I have not had a guest before, so Ben's going to be the first one. We are going to do a round called Let's Get Nosy with Espresso. We're not using espresso, but we are going to get nosy and know Ben a little bit more on a personal level. So Here we go.
Let's see. Bottle is purpley.
So we're doing gin. We're doing gin for this round. It is called Indigo Gin. I don't know. I like it. Do you like it?
Yeah, no, it's one of my, it's one of the better ones I've had, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff.
Before he became an entrepreneur and a chef, he was, what do you call him? Because you aren't like a bartender. He worked at a speakeasy. What are they called?
We didn't really like the term mixologist.
Oh, that's it, mixologist.
We did not like
Why
that.
did you not like that? Was it too like artsy for you, or too like Saturday Night Live skit?
You know, that might be better. It's almost like a caricature of a bartender who cared. You know, just bartender who cared a little bit about.
So you like the word or the term bartender rather than mixologist?
Yeah. Yes. Mixologist. That's almost, you used the word SNL thing, and then I was like, you know what? It almost does make a cartoony caricature of.
I feel like you're like a scientist, like in the back, like a little scientist, like.
Well, there are
doc, you know.
There are mixologists out there that like really do some stuff with like dry ice. They I don't know, make like little bubbles of like gin or vodka or whiskey or something
Bubbles?
like that. Yeah, I forget the term, but they're like.
That sounds serious stuff.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
like actual, like true, like scientisty. And no, we didn't do that. We just knew how to put together flavors.
Okay.
And nothing too sweet, nothing. You want to have like a full profile, so you want to have your like.
What do you mean a full profile? What does that mean?
Yeah, you want to have your maybe something sweet.
Well, when you say profile, though, like
like your palate, like so it hits like most, if not all, of the palate centers.
Okay, so we're being technical here.
Yeah,
so, So profile means like the full flavor hitting your palate.
Yeah, that's like a journey with
a
drinks.
Journey. Oh.
Yeah,
I'm liking this.
You can have something sweet, maybe something, because there's the in the culinary world, you want something sweet, salt, fatty, and something else, and then you have like umami or something. Which umami is like the mouthfeel. So you want to do that in the bartender world. Of course, you can't really put salt in everything. You can't like put fatty. I mean, I guess you can use fatty things, but that's not in any grand.
Like putting fatty stuff in your drink?
Well, like there's like fat washes. There are like we are at the bar. There used to be a thing that they used butter or something.
Oh.
So it's gonna inherently be a little more oily
people put butter in stuff.
Yeah.
Like, have you also heard to put butter in your coffee? I know that sounds weird.
I heard it recently.
Put butter in your coffee?
I heard it recently. Did you post about that or something?
I did not post about that.
No, someone said that then, and I was like,
but I've heard about it. You put a clump of like butter or something in your coffee, and then I've tried it before. I mean, tastes okay to me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you're getting probably different things than you would than like creamer or something. Like probably a little more significant in your mouth. Like
maybe.
I don't even know how to use. I don't even know the right term right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and that's like I think I mentioned earlier. That's how I learned how to get like a profile of, what tastes good in a drink, and you can put that on food.
Yeah.
Put that on anything really.
Nice.
You put it in your mouth.
Well, today we aren't. I don't know. Are we having a full profile? We're just doing gin on the rocks.
We're having a decent gin profile where you can expect certain.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Expect certain notes here.
Certain notes,
What's going to be hitting our palate today when we?
Well, this is a stronger the juniper as far as like dominating the profile. Even though juniper isn't super big, there are some that like, they get in your nose and it's just like inhaling a flower.
Okay, well, let's see if we inhale a flower with this one.
You almost get a touch of sweet in there.
I think it tastes like sweet.
Yeah. But there's a lot of floral.
It tastes better than it smells.
Yeah.
Because it smells
like a bouquet of something.
Stronger. And then when you taste it, you're like, oh, it doesn't taste as strong as it smells.
Yeah, and then pure in its pure form without the ice, you'll probably taste different notes as well. Yeah. This is softening it up a little bit as well.
Oh. I love that color too.
Yeah, the color's real nice.
Now that we have our gin, we've tried it, we've talked to our bartender about the flavors in our palate. We're going to ask him a few questions. Since you are a chef and entrepreneur, first question is, what is the strangest thing you have in your fridge right now?
Strangest thing that I have in my fridge. Oh my goodness.
And it may even be something normal to you, but like if someone were to come walk in, they'd be like, why do you have that in your fridge?
I have big jars of like salsa I made for myself, but...
You make for yourself?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that you just like
than...
insanely go crazy on like jars of salsa, you just
I just... Yeah, I mean, I really do put a lot of salsa on stuff, but I don't think that's necessarily strange. I don't have strange stuff in my fridge, I guess. That's a
okay.
That's a tough.
So lots of jars of salsa.
Well,
right
I mean,
now.
also these days I'm eating very clean. I'm eating like little to no oil.
Okay.
I mean, I'll eat taco.
Are you doing like lots of raw foods? Have you tried that? Like where people are like, oh, just eat all raw, so like you can't eat anything that you cook.
Right. No, I'll cook everything. I'll cook most everything. I'll throw some. The only thing that won't be cooked most of the time is like the greens. But yeah, no, I just eat rice, lentils, greens, dice up some onion, saute some veggies or something. And,
Yeah.
but saute in like water with a little bit of salt, not necessarily with oil. But I guess that would be more on the blanching style. But
blanching style.
But then you do that with like greens. But anyways, blank. There are a lot of like all kinds of stuff.
I'm learning lots of stuff. Blanching. So next time I'm cooking, I can tell someone I'm blanching. What does it mean if I'm blanching?
That is basically almost boiling like greens and veggies.
Like on a skillet or like boiling like spaghetti. Like you boil spaghetti.
Like,
so am I blanching
kinda
it?
like spaghetti, yes. If I'm remembering correctly, that's kind of like, you won't do it for that long.
So can I tell people if I'm like, instead of boiling spaghetti or making spaghetti, I'm like, oh, I'm blanching some spaghetti. Can I, no? Oh.
No, like I said, I think that term is normally used for like greens, like broccoli, spinach, kale, the collards or something.
Okay. Man. Okay. Maybe I'm blanching if instead of like no, because you're steaming broccoli, so you can't say I'm like blanching broccoli, can you?
No, I mean.
Okay,
maybe,
I just won't use it.
It's a relatively new term for me, so I'm pretty sure I'm using it correctly, but basically I'm saying that like I use little to no oil, so the fridge has just a bunch of stuff, clean foods in it.
Man, so healthy. You're a healthy person.
I told you I'm also training.
He's training for a marathon. So I think half marathon. Just last week. So we share. Well, we don't share, but we're friends on a running app. We aren't going to tell you the name of the running app just in case you guys want to stalk us. No.
Also, they're not paying you, so.
Oh, and they aren't paying me. Yeah, once I get sponsorship. So I think I'm up. I need a few more subscribers until I get sponsorship. But once I do, I will tag them so maybe they can sponsor me. But so every time we go for a run, it notifies each other. And oh, look, here I am like shoving my face with a burrito or something. No joke. And then I get a notification that this guy just finished like a 5-mile run or a 6-mile or 9-mile was your last one.
My last one was 9.5 miles. And that's only because I cut short the route and I wasn't going to go farther out to get like a full 10.
It's ridiculous. And here I am stuck like, well, I guess I'm going to just finish swallowing this burrito I have in my mouth.
But that's not what it's for. It's not to make you feel guilty or anything. It's accountability for like the self.
Yeah, no, it is. It's nice. It's nice like knowing someone else is running, because if you're maybe in a bit of a lazy mood and you see it pop up that someone else ran, it kind of gets, oh yeah, let me go run. You don't feel like you're alone in the world.
Yeah.
A little bit. But you're doing a great job. I see those times too, because I'm nosy. I look at your time, man, he's fast.
I was a little surprised that because I didn't feel like I was doing an 8-minute pace for 9 miles. I was like, wow.
No,
shoot.
you run fast. It's good.
I don't know. Is that fast?
I mean, I think I'm doing like 10 minutes a
Oh,
mile
well-
or 11 minutes if it's like hot.
Well, I guess I'm comparing it to.
You're comparing it to your marathon runners.
Yeah, like to be a little competitive in like half marathon running. It's like I'm seeing. Well, I haven't looked just because I don't want to like get it in me that I need to like make 5-minute mile pace because I don't even know if people really do that. But I
Yes,
know
they do.
I know I wouldn't be able to. So that would be like an impossible thing for me right now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like compare myself to those people.
You're comparing yourself to Forrest Gump. Like a Forrest Gump person. Like Forrest, I don't know. I don't even know how fast Forrest Gump runs.
He
But
ran-
he like
yeah,
ran a lot. He
yeah.
ran across what? The world? Did he like run
The
across
US.
America, right?
Yeah, the whole
The
world.
world?
Wow.
Wow. Wow, you're running on water. But I mean, he did look like Jesus when he was running because he had his
Towards the
beard
end.
and his
Yeah,
long,
that's-
his long
yeah.
hair. So maybe he could run across the water and just continue over to Europe.
Could do that.
There's
Watch out for those.
Forrest running in the water.
Watch out for those tsunamis on the other side. But
Oh, if he goes during tsunami season, which didn't that just finish up tsunami season? Are we in hurricane season now? I don't know. Oh, we're getting distracted. Okay.
that is a tangent.
So, next question.
Oh wait, the weirdest thing is just that it is all kind of Whole Foods in my fridge. Like I don't think most people have Whole
Like fresh,
Foods.
like fresh foods or like
Well, like
Whole Foods?
lentils, chickpeas.
Very veganish.
Yeah, like a hyper vegan.
It's like, how do you know
That is
you're
pretty weird compared
at a
to-
vegan's house? You open up their fridge and see all these like whole fresh veggies.
Yeah, I think if you go into most people's, even like vegans, like you probably won't see as many like
Fresh foods.
Whole Foods.
That actually sounds good. It sounds refreshing.
It feels
Fresh
good.
food sounds refreshing.
It feels good. Like I'm able to run.
You feel difference in
Better.
your body?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Nice.
like even if I eat a lot, it's not a heaviness for I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't really know how to really describe it. Quinoa versus white
No,
rice
I-
are like two different things.
I totally understand. It is a different feeling. Like this week, my coworkers and I, we had a salad one day from Picnic Inns, which is so good. They do really good salads and they're all like fresh and stuff. And then the next day, we went across the street to Pluckers, and like the difference between how you
Yeah.
felt, like having a salad was like amazing. You're like, okay, like you go back to work and you feel great. And then like with Pluckers and like we had like some like wings and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. That's
Fatty food.
fried.
like you just wanted to kill yourself afterwards.
Well.
Not that.
That's a little extreme description there.
But you just felt like you had to like unbutton your pants and you felt tired and you wanted to take a nap. It was like just a
Yeah.
completely different. You feel like you're waddling out of the restaurant. With the other one, you were actually like walking.
Yeah. You
Like,
probably
after
felt like a
Thanksgiving.
human being.
Yeah, it was an awful feeling. And then I started thinking how many Americans, I mean, not knocking Americans too much, but like our eating habits are awful because we have
Yeah.
so many like fast food places everywhere. And it's like having that same feeling of that one restaurant 3 times, because some people eat out like 3 times a day at not healthy places. Like let's say you have fast food 3 times a day. Like
Oh yeah,
Oof.
I can imagine. I read a statistic not too long ago that like and this is like spread out because there easily could be people just eating fast food.
yeah.
But like you have 30% of the population eating fast food at least once a day or something like that.
Okay.
Or 30% of the time people will eat fast food, which if you look at some of the nutrition facts behind fast food.
There's
it's like-
hardly any nutrition in fast food.
Yeah, and it's like this isn't great, probably. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, this speaks to what you said about the American diet. But again, we're going on tangents.
I know. This is not about the American diet. We'll do that another episode. Maybe Ben can come back and
And
like
then portions,
teach us how to cook us
and
something.
then
Oh my, portions. I eat like I'm eating for like
no, we're going.
3 people.
Oh,
but
same. But that's also after a 9-mile run. So
for you, I don't even touch a 9-mile run. I'm like 3 miles. I'm like, ooh, yeah, that was a good one.
it is. No, that's great.
Okay, so next one. Obviously, you're really good at cooking. You're really good at like making drinks and stuff like that. If you had one talent that you wish you always had and you could like snap your fingers and have it, what would that talent be?
Dang, really?
Yes, one.
Wait,
like,
would this be outside of the stuff that already? I mean, something that exists and it would just be that exist all the time, or something new that like.
Anything. It could be any talent at all. If that you've ever wanted. You know, if you could just snap your fingers and all of a sudden have it, what is that talent?
I was kind of even thinking about this recently, maybe even
Really?
earlier today.
Maybe I was like I was like feeling in your
same
thoughts.
wavelength.
I was like,
But just that I've always enjoyed, and I mean I still enjoy playing basketball, but I'm of a shorter stature, and I've never been able to dunk the ball, the basketball, and I feel like I would want to dunk the basketball.
okay.
Like,
So have you never dunked at all?
no, no, 5'6".
This voice would have never no.
Like that's almost unheard of. I mean, no, that's not true.
Oh, you could do a shorter basketball thing.
Well, that's
So like
that's
I
not
don't
a real
know.
thing.
Okay, so you want to be able to dunk on a full legit
10-foot
basketball
rim.
hoop rim thing.
It would be really like life affirming, just because I grew up playing basketball, you know, admiring people playing basketball, not even just people that can dunk,
Yeah.
but it was just something that because I'm still pretty good at basketball. I don't know if you've
No one's taking
Really?
that away from you. It's okay. It's okay.
no, I'm not necessarily saying that like, hey, I'm good.
He's good. He just wants everyone to know if you guys see him on the basketball court, he's good. He just can't dunk on you.
I will not dunk on you.
But you got those 3-pointers.
Have you seen me play? That's what I was going to ask. Have you seen me play?
I think, okay, so we went to college together. I think at SAC you would go play basketball
I would,
and stuff.
yeah.
And I
Yes.
remember you being good at like either the free throws or the 3-pointers. I really don't know. Like it was like far off in like the middle of the court.
Well, I
area,
remember
kind of.
once we were out with Myra on a walk or something.
Oh
once.
my gosh, Myra! Yes,
And
little Shakira.
that's
Our
funny.
friend Myra looked like a miniature version of Shakira. She was adorable.
Big curly hair.
Big curly hair.
But there was one time, I think we were looking for somebody, and we were walking through the gym, and then there was a basketball, and I was like, "Hey guys, wait up!" And then I like shot a 3-pointer, and it went in. I'm not sure if you're that,
Probably.
because I don't know if you've ever actually seen me play basketball.
I remember you. Because I remember you would take your you know that the like kind of like long gym bag.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you like with a long gym bag and Paul. Didn't you go play with
Yeah.
like Paul?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Over
think
at the gym.
I think I've like
Okay. Maybe
seen you a little bit. Maybe like, okay, bye guys. Like maybe we stayed there for a little bit and then like
Okay.
left or something. But I remember something like that. So okay, so yours would be dunking.
I think so.
I will tell you mine.
Please.
Even though this isn't about me, this question's
Always.
wow. Alexa just told us the force will be with us always. That's pretty awesome.
I'm wondering where that came from.
Here's
Yeah.
something I found on reference.com. A fish is an animal. It is a multicellular organism with eukaryotic cells arranged into tissues and organs. Eukaryotic means that fish cells have nuclei and other
So,
structures that have
Alexa, stop. She was telling us about fish, and that's great. Big Brother is always listening to us, which is amazing.
Well, I'm wondering what we
Amazing.
said that like triggered.
I don't know because I never said her name.
But what do we say that like sounded like it? I don't know.
know.
Whatever. Sometimes sometimes whatever.
Big Brother is listening, but that's okay. They can listen to what we want to be. Maybe they'll like give us those powers. I
These knees.
have always wanted to be a soul singer. Like have a gospel bluesy voice.
Just build it out.
Oh, just belt it out.
You have a lot of stuff you need to emote through
I
your...
think I was. I think I had a past life to where I was a blues singer or like a gospel singer.
Do you have it all in you and you just can't
It's
express it?
in me, and I just can't. Like it comes out like. So
Very velociraptor-y.
it is awful. Yeah, I got it from my dad. He loves singing too, but he can't hold a tune. So yeah, that's it.
How do we fix that? Because
You can't.
my fixing would be,
You can
working
go
on
to-
jumping every single
Well,
day.
you can
and
go
like,
to China and you can get the
well, that's
like
like
shin surgery.
I don't know
and
if
stuff.
that was really good for muscles and like jumping.
It may not be.
That sounds like it would make your legs more fragile for like landing, like
We'd have to do.
fall over.
It's like when you stretch out like a photo or something that you just like see you. And
I
then, like,
can't
you
even
see these
imagine. I'm not
legs.
trying to get taller. That's not. That's
Well, how else do you dunk? Don't you have to be at least taller?
as a leg? No, there have been 5'6" people that have dunked
Oh,
before.
Then you got to start working on like maybe
Well,
hopping
I'm
exercises.
almost 40, so I'm
You are
telling you about my
never
knees
too-
earlier.
Yeah, before we started taping this, he was telling me about how his knees are sore after you did a run, right?
Well, not just that. There's specifics about it as well,
We
but
can't get into too much. It's too much detail. Okay, so you want to dunk. We'll go on to the next rapid question, our espresso round.
I don't know how rapid these are. We end up
I
hanging out
know.
on them for a while.
Okay, the next one is, what is your superpower? If you wanted one and had one. I know you had to think about this. You like comics and stuff.
I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, so what would be your superpower? It doesn't have to be one that exists. It can also be like one that like you make up.
I think mine's pretty easy. Probably just being able to fly.
Fly.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's an easy. I've thought about it a lot, and yeah, I think I recently thought about it in a different context that I had thought about it before in the past. That I was like, what was the impetus that made me start thinking about like believing in like the unbelievable, and like there was when I was a lot younger, I was like, well, if I just will it enough, maybe I can. Even though I knew that it was like impossible, it was like, I don't know, nothing's impossible.
I'm gonna jump from the roof of the house and see
No,
what
no,
happens.
this is me like standing there like
From your bed?
Hold on.
Oh,
No,
trying to like cover up.
something, standing up and just like, if I believe it enough.
And last but not least.
Wait,
Oh,
since we're doing you as well, it's you said like the last one you had an answer.
oh, but that was
so
just the last one. I don't know
You
what
don't
I would
have
do for
one.
my superpower. Gosh, that is such a tough one because so many different things come into my mind.
you haven't
like,
thought about it as much. As
Well,
have,
I mean, I've
probably.
thought about things like being invisible, being able to be invisible, but then things that you may see or hear, it's like, oh, like what do you say when you're invisible and you hear or see those
You
things?
can't say anything.
You can't say anything. So I think that would actually end up tormenting me instead.
In the wrong places.
Yeah, you like just show up or you like decide to be invisible because you just want to like be funny or go explore things, and then you end up being there at the wrong time at the wrong
Oh,
place,
sure,
and
sure. Or there's a thing you think you want to know, and then when you really know it,
you're like,
it's
oh,
like, wow, oh, I should have probably never known that.
Yeah.
I'll never sleep again.
yeah. So I don't know. Flying does sound really cool.
Now, flying is cool. There is a thing about flying where I think you need probably a suit of protection or like an actual
But
another ability.
if you have the superpower, that all that other stuff comes along with it. So it would be like
Oh.
it would be built into you that you can just like take off. Like you went, you know.
Well, I'm saying like if you go high enough, there wouldn't be enough oxygen for me to breathe.
Yeah, but you're thinking non-superpowery. If like you have the superpower to fly, then like your body would automatically adjust and you'd be able to like breathe in those areas. You know.
give me extra powers. Okay.
Yeah, it's like your body adjusts. I guess maybe like flying to the level of like birds and stuff, you'd be able to do that
Okay.
like
And-
automatically.
Okay.
Just like your body would turn into that, like morph into like being able
It's
to
like being
fly
a
with
fish,
the birds.
being able to swim. There's already gills, kind of.
It's like
gill
the Little
action.
Mermaid, you know, on land and then going into the sea.
With magic.
Something like that. Something like that. I don't know. We'll have to get into the details. We'll figure out your flying details.
There's a lot of little things.
There's
like,
little things.
you know, there are movies that touch on this a little bit. But anyways, now that we're maybe talking about it too
But
much,
I
so-
mean, Ant-Man and stuff. You
Oh,
know,
he has a whole suit.
Oh, Iron Man does too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Superman does?
Superman's an
Hulk
alien.
does not have a suit.
Hulk doesn't fly.
No, he doesn't fly, but he doesn't have a... No, neither does Ant-Man. Does Ant-Man fly?
He does not fly.
See? But they morph into things, so your body would just, like, absorb whatever it is.
I think it's also, well, we don't have to get into this.
But you can, like,
I can
create
talk
your
about
own.
this.
He's a comic person.
Correct.
He needs the correct terminology.
Elaborate, because, I mean, the Hulk, he's a lot of things after he turns into the Hulk. He's not just, like, super strong.
Uh-oh, this is a whole nother episode talking about comics, so we may have to do comics and superpower, like, for a whole nother episode. Something else.
Yeah, if you need me. I'll be a few.
So final one, pizza topping. Since you are a vegan and you are a chef, what is your favorite pizza topping?
Why was I thinking about these things recently?
Were you really?
Well, I saw an Instagram reel, or maybe a friend sent me something about pizza. Oh no, it was
Well, who doesn't love pizza?
it was just a reel, I guess I saw, and I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I make a pretty good vegan pepperoni. That's really good. But outside of like stuff you don't make or manufacture, I really have a thing with, and this is basically to some people blasphemy. Not the jalapeno part, but the pineapple part.
Your favorite topping is pineapple?
Well, jalapeno and pineapple.
Well, you can only pick one.
Oh, you said just one. Oh,
What is
shoot.
your favorite
I thought it was
pizza
toppings.
topping?
Sorry.
Topping. No
Oh,
S.
goodness.
What is your favorite topping? Man, I didn't know this would be this difficult.
Really? Oh, there's so many. Well, like I said, I make a really good vegan pepperoni. I would say, no, that's even cheating. Is that cheating?
Vegan pepperoni? No, if that's your
A
favorite
vegan
topping.
pepperoni that I make.
No, because that's your favorite topping then.
If it's only one, because with the pineapple one, I would have to have it with jalapeno.
Oh.
Because you can't just have it by itself.
So if you had a pizza with just one topping, what would that one topping be? That would be your favorite. I'm not just a one topping man.
Not that basic.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I guess just the vegan pepperoni that I make, and
That's a classic.
It is.
Pepperoni, vegan or non-vegan, it's a classic.
And I will say it because I've made it taste very traditional to the classic pepperoni,
Nice.
and it's something that I hadn't tasted in a very long time. That within the last couple of years, I was able to put together. It's like, wow, this is like takes me back to like eating a
Going back to your meat eating days.
Going back to
Tasting that pepperoni.
Going back to my satisfying without thinking about what I was eating.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how I'll put it, because it's not like this is meat and I need it. This is more like this is what I eat. This is meat and it happens to be meat, or this is tasty and it happens to be meat. You know.
Yeah.
We can go on a whole other thing about unconscious like ingestion of stuff, which includes like media, food, drink. That's a whole other thing.
So, in other words, Ben will be coming back for another episode. And since you guys already know him and what he does, he is a chef, an entrepreneur. He is a part of Tidy Bins.
I'm a runner.
And he has done Primero Tacos. And just so they know out there, where can they find your stuff, Ben?
Yes. So a few places throughout the month, but every single day I'm at Estate Coffee. That's
Estate Coffee. And I will put this in the description too of this video, so y'all know.
Estate Coffee and Royal Blue Grocery. Every single day I deliver to them. And I don't think we touched on that. I do this every single day of my life. And I've been doing it for over a year.
That sounds a little depressing when you said it like that. You're like,
I know.
Every single day
No, I just,
of my life.
I just want people to
3:30
know.
for y'all. He wakes up at 3:30 for y'all.
I just want everyone to know the gravity
Oh.
in which I guess there's a work ethic part that I've never really done
Okay.
in my life. There's
Well, that comes to your passion. I guess this is very much a passion because you aren't a morning person.
yeah.
And you're doing 3:30 every day.
And I really want to just offer an option to that population. And there are people that really like my food that are not just vegans, but there are vegans out there that a lot of them that do eat my tacos regularly, but have that option that I had like growing up and that I miss. But now I get to eat tacos every single day too. And again, this is like, of course, I try to eat really, really clean. Part of it's like oatmeal is something I also eat every day. Try to eat almost every day. But like before that, I have to have at least like 2 tacos. Like even when I'm like, okay.
Of your own tacos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
See,
yes,
he eats his own food and he loves it.
It's something I just can't not eat.
So estate coffee and Royal Blue
Grocery.
Grocery.
And
Royal Blue
then throughout the month, a few times at Curator Coffee. And then on some pop-ups every now and again, and hopefully in more places as well.
So where can they find you? Do you have like social media and stuff? I know you were talking about Reels earlier. So where can they find you to look up this stuff as well?
Instagram and Facebook right now.
And what do they look up?
Primero Taco, Primero Taco, on both of them. Yeah, and it's easy peasy.
Awesome.
Lemon squeezy.
Well, there you guys have it for episode 6 of Not Just Coffee with Reese. Thank you all for joining us. We have our gin, we had our hibiscus,
Malawian black tea.
And that is a wrap for episode 6. So thank you, Ben.
Hey,
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.